Welcome to the first video of JB in the 70s. We're doing solo shows and just keeping a record of what this stuff is actually like, and to answer a few questions that we've had about equipment, how we're getting certain sounds and stuff like that. First, I want to start off with what we're dealing with as far as equipment. And this is just a solo show for me, so I've been able to build up quite a bunch of stuff over the past few years and just add a little bit more nuance to some of these shows. So as you can see here, this is kind of my packing process, and it comes all the way through. Got a lot of acoustic guitars needed for some of these sounds from the 70s. And the other reason for me to video this packing setup is so that I can actually remember how I packed all this crap. Alright, so we'll go ahead and leave for the venue, which is going to be Copper Penny Grill and Road Hiss on Lake Hickory. All right, let's get on the road. All right, so we're on the road on the way to Copper Penny. Today we'll have my friend Louise, who's a flautist, do some really nice flute work, and she's played with me a couple times before, one with the band and then once solo at Him and Beer, which is in Morganton. Incidentally, we had a show there last night, and I sometimes say we because, you know, I do represent JB in the 70s when I'm doing solo shows as well. But Him and Beer is a really great place. Just the patrons there know their music. They have a really great appreciation for 70s classic rock and anything having to do with classic rock. And then so I had started using a request board that I received from some friends of ours that came in from California with a band called Midnight Ride. Those guys are fantastic. Clint and Sean are just really wonderful people, incredible musicians, and really can't wait to have them come back to North Carolina for a tour, which hopefully will be expanded. But they did a week about a few months ago, and then had to leave a couple pieces of equipment behind, and one of those was the request board. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll just keep it for you for next time. But Him and Beer, you know, I had done a benefit show there earlier in the year, and we raised $500 from that benefit show that I did at Him and Beer. And so I wanted to bring in that request board with the intent to let people know how much was raised, how well we did, and naturally people started using that request board to write their requests down. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe those guys are on to something. So and yeah, I mean, it's just a really great way for people to get engaged with the music. If there's certain songs that they want to hear, there's a good chance they'll hear it now that we've got access to, you know, hundreds of thousands of songs on our guitar player apps. So chances are that we can just wing it, but at least they'll get to hear it, or at least some portion of the tune. if we can. If not, I'll just keep it for the next time, and then I'll just practice the songs and try and get it to where they make sense for an acoustic live show. So that has been a pretty great thing to do. And also a lot of people have great song suggestions. Sometimes you get you get tired of your own set lists, and you really need to infuse some new stuff. And Sean had a really great Sean at Midnight Ride had a really great song idea that we're going to be trying out here. Maybe not today, but maybe at the next JB in the 70s full band show, which we play at Bootleggers in Hickory every first Saturday of the month. Bootleggers is really a fantastic place to play. The crowd is amazing. We installed our own disco ball. That's a pretty big one to get those 70 vibes going. And the staff there is really fantastic and supportive. Certainly the owner, Matthew's, really supportive of live music. Even had a sound system installed with the help of Jonathan Birchfield's crew. So we're really appreciative of that, because then we don't have to bring the PA every time for that particular show. Now for the shows that I'm doing, it's these acoustic shows. I'll just bring my Bose PA. It's the quickest to set up. Sounds absolutely fantastic. And it's just it's not too big where I can't fit it into the car, along with all the rest of the stuff that I want to bring. Do I have to bring all this stuff just for an acoustic solo show? Absolutely not. And of course, in the beginning, it was just the basic setup, PA, guitar, music stand, and mic stand, etc. But these days, I just like to be comfortable and have everything that I might need, or if there's like an idea that comes up, but I need a certain piece of equipment or a certain guitar, then I'll have it available and at the ready. So that's the general gist of carrying all this stuff. And yes, it is a pain in the butt, but I mean, anything's a pain in the butt to a certain extent. So it's just at what level are you willing to put up with it. And I love this stuff, so I've been doing it for several years. And I'll tell you that my original idea to play solo just for me was many years ago, back in the late 90s. A band I was in used to go to O'Kane's Irish Pub in Fernandina Beach on the occasion, and there was this guy that we saw a couple times play there.
Watch out, vehicle on shoulder ahead.
And he was this guy was, it's kind of an older guy, probably about my age now. I mean, I'm 48 now, but he was fantastic at playing an acoustic solo show. I was like, man, I would love to do that. How much fun would it be to play a show, get paid, use that stuff that I learned in high school, and while continuing to build up a repertoire as I go, and then maybe learn some new guitar skills as I go along. So that was a pretty good influence. And also there was a gentleman that owned his own bar in Valdosta, Georgia, that was really a fantastic acoustic guitar player and vocalist, and you know, he could do Piano Man, you know, on guitar and then sing it, and then it was just really amazing. So that was another reason why I wanted to, whenever I could, figure out how to build up the skills in order to start singing and playing out live. So originally I started doing open mics, and then in Tallahassee, and I started building up skills. Already had some fingerstyle guitar training, some classical training from high school. So I incorporated all that stuff in there to build up some kind of set every time I did play like an open mic. And then fast forward to us living in North Carolina, started looking at open mics. Also, specifically in Hickory, Bourbon Street Alley to me was like the Cheers of all the places, all the bars really in Hickory at the time when they were open. But they also had an extremely lively music scene, and it was the perfect place to woodshed stuff that was brand new to you, that you were wanting to play to see if they would work. You know, it's almost like a you know, comedy act needing some kind of place to work on new material. Same goes for this kind of concept, because sometimes stuff will work right away and it's magic. Then other times it's a song that you really want to do. You love the tune, but you just can't get it done. I mean, it's just not going to work. So sometimes you have to shelve stuff, and then occasionally you can come back to it, and you might have a different idea. I've seen that a few times to where that would actually work. But so anyway, that's just a few thoughts on these acoustic shows, which are really amazing. The people are fantastic that you get to play to, and you know, anything from the 70s and on into the 80s is a pretty good sure bet that people are going to have a really great time. The 90s can get a little bit hairy, but sometimes it's good. I mean, the good thing about the 90s was that it was kind of a reflection of the 70s, where everybody played just more stripped down. Everybody played their own instruments. It was really innovative as far as alternate tunings. A lot of stuff was half step down, which I would argue probably most artists playing out live these days, they do half step down because it just makes the most sense when you're trying to sing stuff.
Watch out, vehicle on shoulder ahead.
And also helps kind of preserve your voice over the long run. Originally I used to be a purist about it. I was like, no, you gotta have the original key, that's the one that everybody recognizes. But that's actually, you know, I changed my tune on that. It's actually not the case. Nobody really cares as long as you're getting it across what the general vibe and the feeling of the tune is, and you know, and you want to try to be as accurate as you can. I mean, it's, you know, note for note is certainly not always possible, and of course I don't always do note for note, but I try to when I can. Like Led Zeppelin's Rain Song, that's one that I'll do note for note, just because it's really the only way to play it. I mean, if you really want to get the best gist across for that song, play it for note for note. Spend the hours, however long it takes to learn it, memorize it, and play it live often. Now, with JB in the 70s, that has not been a problem. I've been able to do that. All right, we're going to get off our exit now. Okay, so we had perfect weather yesterday at Hillman Beer. Today, because there's been a hurricane or whatever it is coming out of the Gulf, kind of starting to come into the Carolinas, so it might be rainy today, or it might be a little bit drizzly, not really sure. So chances are I might not have all the equipment out for this particular show. I'll have to check the forecast here in a minute. All right, sorry to be so long-winded, but it's really cool to have some of these thoughts some of these thoughts vocalized for what that come about at certain shows. All right, I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, we just arrived to Copper Penny, and check out these views. They got their own dock boat slip. And then over there, kind of near the bar, is where we're going to be setting up. Go ahead and get to it. But yes, this is an amazing place to play. And today is actually an earlier show. It starts at in about an hour. Noon, and it'll go to about 3. All right, let's go ahead and start setting up. Here's our setup for today. As you can see, pretty awesome scenery. And this is the beginning of the lunch crowd on a Sunday afternoon. Looks like we got some sunshine. Awesome. And just wanted to explain what I'm using today. This right here is our new synthesizer. It's the Hydrosynth by Ashton Sound Machines. Really awesome. This is the 49 key. Basically, I'm just playing around with this thing for these shows, but we do use it. Starting to use it more and more for the live gigs. And down here, we've got what I'm using is my Voice Live guitar vocal duo pedal. This thing is really awesome. It's kind of like a must if you want backup vocals, and certainly if you don't have anybody else available, or you just want to do solo, you need that beef behind your vocals. So that's perfect for that. A little delay whenever I want. And then of course, this pedal right here is a newer thing. This is the Stomp pedal by Coda Music. The thing about this pedal is that you can via Bluetooth use it with your iPad and scroll back and forth between pages of music that you have on your pad. It doesn't work with all the apps. It doesn't work with Guitar Player yet, which I can't wait till we're able to do so then we can scroll down the pages. But for a lot of music applications, it's good. Up here, it's my pad, so I can use, like, I can take pictures of music or come up with my own music. And then, you know, this is something that Matt's been doing, our keyboard player. But anyway, so cool thing about this pedal, just step on it, you can move it back and forth between the pages, and your hands free, which is really pretty amazing. All right, we'll go ahead and get started here.
Running on empty, running on, running on.
All right, that does it for the Copper Penny Grill here on the lake. There's the boat slip down there. Awesome. Great times. Good people here. There's Louise right there playing the flute.
Had a blast.
Yep.
It's too windy though.
Bit windy out here, but that's okay. It's nobody's sweating or anything. It's fantastic. So we'll check you guys out on YouTube, and if you got a YouTube channel, and check out this one every now and again, and we'll post some updates on future shows and future things that might come up. One idea I had was to interview various artists that play out locally here in the Hickory area, and see what kind of setup they have for their shows, and different topics and such that they experience. So, all right, and with that, signing off. See ya.